Do we have time for one more today? Okay, let's just go with this one. What is this? Nathan. And actually, I like Nathan. He kind of reminds me of Robert a little bit. He challenges me, and I like that. I like being able to look at things in a different perspective I wouldn't have otherwise. And it often leads to new topics that I wouldn't have thought of on my own. So a video I made this morning called Hair Loss for Sports Super Hulk Smash ARG. Nathan said, quote, just because someone enjoys something doesn't mean they're emotionally invested in it. Out of curiosity, what are your hobbies? I believe you're right to some extent about having power over your emotions. However, this doesn't mean you should pretend to be a robot who doesn't care about anything, since when is passion a bad thing? Balance is key, end quote. And I agree 100% on this. It was talking about passion. I think, was it Bono who said that people follow passion? You know, and I'm very aware of that. I think of that as a business model on my YouTube channel. It's important for me to be passionate. At the same time, it's funny because, yeah, and you shouldn't pretend to be a robot. You shouldn't deny your emotions so much so that you have no emotions. But at the same time, it's about managing and controlling your emotions, which is what we all do to some degree. We act certain ways around certain people, right? We're more reserved around some. We're more of ourselves around other people, right? Just like in real life, if you met me, I would remind you of the guy you see in these YouTube videos, but I wouldn't exactly be the version of me that you see in these videos. But I definitely 100% agree with this. But I want to look at a little bit more of this fundamentally real quick. He's asking me, what are my hobbies? Now, if we're not talking about my YouTube channel, because I make $100 from that a month, and we're not talking about my blog, Family Friendly Daddy blog, which makes even more money than that, then skateboarding, mountain biking, and going on road trips with my family. And if you go to my blog, Family Friendly Daddy blog, you'll see that, and especially our recent road trip to Boone, North Carolina. You know, I was shooting hair loss videos in the midst of it, but ultimately, I also, you know, was creating content for my blog as well. So those are things that I like to do. And I'm passionate about those, just like I'm passionate about making these videos. But I think there's definitely a difference between passion and emotion. I think you can definitely be passionate and you can be caring about things without being emotional about them. You know, because it's like when I'm mountain biking, I'm not like, yeah, all right. You know, I don't know, like it's fun, but I think that as I get older, I'm less, I don't want to say less emotional, because it's about being emotionally intelligent, which means you understand how to manage your emotions, which, you know, just because you may feel a certain way doesn't mean you have to go through with that emotion. You actually stop to control it. Because imagine this. There are people out there who get outraged and offended by anything, right? They have no control over their emotions. They want to see themselves as the victim because that's part of their mentality. I'm always done wrong, right? But then there's people like me. I'm never done wrong. Even if I was, I'd find a way to overcome it, you know? And so I do feel, though, that there's gonna be a connection between someone who is very emotional and acts on those emotions and how it relates to their hair loss, whereas someone like me, I'm not an emotional person. You know, I'll get hyped up, I'll get passionate or whatever as I'm making videos at times, but ultimately I'm a host of a YouTube channel. I know how to manage an audience so that people care about it, you know, instead of just being monotone, you know. So like I can separate emotions and still be passionate about that. But I definitely think there really is a connection, a Venn diagram, if you'll follow me on this. You know what a Venn diagram is, right? The two or three circles and they overlap. I think if you had a Venn diagram of like a circle of guys who are experiencing hair loss, and then you had guys that are highly emotional, like you easily are offended, people hurt your feelings, if you were driving and someone flipped you off because you cut in front of them or they perceived you, you'd get mad at them and curse at them, like that sort of thing. Like, I don't care about any of that, you know? But if you're emotional and you're losing your hair loss, your hair loss is gonna bother you more. If you're less emotional, I would submit that the hair loss will bother you less. I think there's definitely a connection there. But at the same time, when I say not emotional, what I don't mean is that someone who, you know, the old school dad theory that, you know, the dad in the 1950s who never told his kids that he loved them, that sort of thing, and just all his emotions, you never knew what was really going on. No, but I think I do a good job of managing my emotions so that I'm not an emotional person that gets all bent out of shape about stuff. And I definitely think there's a connection between that. That's why I'm always challenging everyone. If you can get to the point where I am, where you do not allow anyone to offend you anymore, that gives you so much more power. And I think that kind of person is going to have the same mentality, whose hair loss is not going to bother them to the same degree. So no, you shouldn't be a robot. You should understand your emotions. You should be passionate. But at the same time, I think there's definitely a relationship between someone being emotional about everything. I think they're going to be more likely to let their hair loss bother them. And I think there's definitely a separation of that. But you really got me wondering, and I don't know the answer. What makes me emotional? We obviously know sports doesn't make me emotional. I don't know. I feel like I'm not an emotional kind of guy. And maybe through your comment, you're helping me realize that. My hair is kind of messy today. I think through that comment, you're helping me realize. Somebody said, this is my closing statement. Someone had said that I'm very pragmatic. That's one reason I don't have a pet. I'm too pragmatic to have a pet. Because then you have to care for it and take them to the vet. And all. It's not practical to have a pet. It's not practical to worry about losing hair either. It's inevitable for so many of us. So thank you for helping me understand that. Emotions, hair loss, they're connected. Being an emotional person is going to make your hair loss worse. I think that's ultimately what I'm submitting to you. Thank you for helping me realize this, if nothing else, about myself.